Like and subscribe right now, or else this will be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit by Planet Reddit. What's normal to do as a child but creepy to do as an adult? I think putting your fingers under a closed door of a bathroom while someone is using it. This is so specific and perfect. My cat does this. In the middle of the night, creep into your parents' room and stand 2 feet away from your sleeping father's face, just staring at him until he wakes up and has a ducking heart attack. JK, that's still creepy AF when my kids do it. My 2-year-old did this to me last week. Opened my eyes and he's just standing there. My 20-month-old either slaps me awake or announces which facial orifice he's going to stick his finger in if he catches me sleeping. At the weekend it was I. Before trying to worm his finger under the lid, we need to trim his nails. Getting your butt wiped by someone much older than you. More generally, getting your butt wiped by anyone who is not you. Older people or sick people get their butts wiped, but usually by younger nurses. Sprinting down the sidewalk in a large city. When I see kids do it, totally normal. When I see adults do it, I assume something is seriously wrong. That's why you hire kids to rob the diamond exchange. Right kids, so take this totally not expensive bag of diamonds and hide it at insert place. I'll give you this Mars bar. Climbing things. As a kid it was play and fun. As an adult people hunk you're trying to break into a house and call the cops. Even as a kid you run the risk of getting pushed out a window though. The things I do for love. Step on top of adults' feet and have them walk with you on their feet. I'm nearly 30 and I do this with my boyfriend. Nothing sexual or anything. We just get bored when we're standing around. Shit myself. The older I get, the more I have a fear of walking around and accidentally shitting myself. Just stop walking around. Problem solved. Hugging someone so intensely that your face is directly in their crotch. Bonus points if it is your parent. Or butt crack. I'm a kindergarten teacher and I get a lot of butt crack hugs. They'll ambush you. I own a kindergartner and I can confirm this. They'll get you on your front butt too if you're not careful. I feel like children stare a lot. So that are the good old days when I was small and could stare at a construction site and not look like I was conducting industrial espionage. Your mistake was growing up to look suspicious. I am a small woman who looks quite cute. No one suspects me of anything. I can go into areas I shouldn't be and no one thinks I am up to anything. Run, scream, and cry in public. What if you're drunk, asking for a friend? r/drunk or racket. Standing by your parents' bed, staring at them waiting for them to wake. They weren't sleeping. And now it's your nightmare. Playing with children you met outside. Luring them back to your dilapidated house. To play with Legos. Invite complete strangers to come play with you and be your friend. On a side note, I wish we kept the whole wannabe friends part of childhood. Making adult friends is hard. A few years ago while I was in college, I saw the guy walking across campus wearing a shirt for a band I like. Then later that night I saw him at a show for another band. I was looking for some new friends and he seemed nice, so I came up to him and said, "Hey, you go to university in Houston, right?" And he looked a little worried, so I almost bailed out of the conversation. But he said, yeah. So I told him I saw him earlier and that I've been looking for more friends that like the same music as me and just said so we should be friends, and we exchanged numbers and he's one of my best friends now, lol. I don't think that interaction would have ever worked with 99% of people. I'm guessing a couple beers were in the mix, not in a bad way, but it's always easier to strike a conversation with social lubricant. People aren't thinking what's his angle here, etc. Running around in public wearing nothing but a shirt and diaper. Yesterday my son, 11 months, had a nappy blowout, so I had to change all his clothes. While I was fetching a new outfit for him, he crawled to the glass front door, stood up and started waving to our neighbor in literally nothing but a pair of socks and all his tackle hanging about. The neighbor laughed and waved back, but I feel like it would have been a slightly different reaction if it had been my husband waving to him buck naked but for some socks. Well, only one way to find out, I guess. One of my cousins has a small child who likes to lift his mom's dress or skirt and hug her leg. Everybody thinks this is insanely cute. If I did that, I would probably be excommunicated from the family and put on creeper watch. I don't think it's cute. Had a preschooler cousin who every though it was cute when she'd grab your boob. Screaming look what I can do, then literally doing the dumbest ducking thing ever. You haven't met my friends. Last week a mate walked up to me and said, "Hey, check this out," then ducking dived head first into the floor. He was apparently trying to do a dive roll. My niece was pointing out other kids missing teeth at Walmart after losing her first tooth. Then she pointed to a woman and said she's missing a front tooth like me. It was very uncomfortable because we kept crossing paths with this woman in different aisles. Mayo kids, I have diastema, a rather large gap between my front teeth. Kids regularly tell me I'm missing a tooth like them. Cracks me up every time. I'll at times freak out like I didn't know. The reactions are great. I had an encounter like this at Target with a man who was an amputee. He was young, in shape and just had a pretty cool looking prosthetic. It had what looked like a shock on it and was carbon fiber etc. It was actually pretty badass. My daughter, who was 3 at the time, kept asking me what was with his leg, and I don't like to be the kind of person to be like don't look at him, because I actually think that is more rude. So I walked my daughter up to him and said, "Sorry man, my daughter has a question for you," and he was like, "Okay, what would you like to know, little lady?" And she said, "Are you a robot?" He looked at her and said, "I have a robot leg, but I'm not a full robot, not yet at least." She just smiled and said, "I like your leg." He just smiled back at her and said, "I love my leg. And thank you. You made my day." He thanked me and said most people shush their kids and walk away from him. Basically, it's not like you don't know you have a gap in your teeth. It's not like this guy doesn't know he has a badass leg. Instead of making people feel like outcasts, ask them. You never know how cool a story someone has. Pull your pants all the way down to your ankles when peeing at a urinal. Tell that to the weird kids at school in elementary, middle. No shit. I still remember the kid in my 4th grade class who did this. He would also hold his shirt up so his stomach was showing. Nap in a nursery. You're but so quiet and peaceful. Running anywhere and everywhere. And skipping. Skipping is a great exercise and makes your legs look fantastic. I skip a mile around my local park twice a week. People act like you're crazy until you take your pants off. Climb into your mother's bed in the middle of the night. What if your mom crawls into yours? I am asking for a friend. Edit. Weird, no one said anything about broken arms yet. One time my mom brought her ladder from her house, climbed into my room through my window, slowly rocked me back and forth, and sang a song about how I'm a baby. Join our community Discord, link in description. Hide from the teacher in kindergarten class. Accidentally grabbing a stranger's hand. Have baths with your siblings. Porn doesn't believe this. Excuse me for caring about the water bill. Skipping around looking happy. Drink with a baby bottle. I mean, there's really not much difference between a baby bottle and a standard drink bottle, or a wine bottle. Baby bottles are incredibly hard to drink out of. I saw a video. Sucking on her mom's titties. Also sitting on relatives' laps. I read as shitting LOL. Edit. Whoa. Personal best up votes. Just for being honest. Thanks. Throwing a tantrum. While it's not the best behavior, throwing a tantrum as a child is not really that weird, but an adult throwing one definitely is. R/public freakout would like a word. Crawling around on hands and knees at a family meeting. Run around the house naked when there are guests over. Case in point, my friend had a sleepover for her birthday. Her brother, who was maybe 2 or 3 at the time, was due to have a bath. He played a game his family called Naked Man, where they would just let him roam the house naked for a while before he'd get in the bath. He ended up standing at the French doors between the hall and the room we were watching our movies in, just splayed against the glass for all of us to see. She was mortified, but we didn't care. It was cute. To break the tension, one of our other quick-witted friends said, "Oh, don't worry about it. My brother does that all the time." It took us all a beat to register that her brother was a teenager. Kiss chase. Even more creepy if you're playing it with kids. Apparently, a friend told me. Nah, even as a kid, That game was weird. I never really understood the point of it because I didn't even understand the concept of liking girls until like 10. It was just a weird game. I've never heard of this. Climb into someone's lap. I appreciate women who do this to me. Lifting up your shirt to show off your belly button in random environments. Shit in your pants and have someone else clear it up. Although, this then goes full circle and becomes acceptable again if you live to the latter stages of adulthood. Based on a thing I witnessed yesterday, sitting in a little shack on a playground, observing the children, before just jumping on your bike to probably head home. I thought he had kids on the playground himself and didn't say anything because of that the whole time. But nope. He drove away completely by himself. He didn't do anything. But thinking back, he seemed pretty creepy. Apparently when my sister was in high school, all girls school, some guy drove in, perved on all the girls and then drove off. When my sister was around 17 or 18, she and a few friends went to the local beach. Some dude was there, taking pictures of them. He was very scruffy looking, white beard down to the waist, in his 60s or so. It was a bit creepy, TBH. But, my sister was never one to sit by meekly and take it. She stomped right up to him and tore a strip off. Turns out, he's just an amateur photographer. Takes pictures of everything. And had several albums with him. This was the late 1990s. So actual pictures, not digitals. Also turned out he worked with my dad and I at the local shipyard. Cool dude. Always had his albums with him. If you see anyone you know, you can take the picture to them. I enjoy taking them, not really keeping them. Having an imaginary friend. When my niece was young, around 2, I was carrying her around Walmart while in a rush to buy cleaning supplies. As we were about to check out, she pulled down my shirt so my bra was showing and started screaming boobies at the top of her lungs, pointing and gesturing at my boob. That would have been creepy if she were, you know, an adult man. It still was, but I guess she was just interested in the attention she was getting. Pulling your pants all the way down to your ankles to pee. Picking your nose knuckle deep while making eye contact with a stranger at the grocery store. Pooping with the door open and all your cousins and siblings are playing right outside the bathroom. Skipping through the street. 7-year-old child me was cute doing it. 6'5" man skipping looks like I am on crack apparently. But duck the haters. It's too fun to not skip sometimes. Lick everything and everybody you see. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.